Wow, hello. Hello. Am I audible? Is this still working? It's been so long. Hi. I think the music might be too loud. Okay, I lowered it. Hello friends. It's been too long. It's been so long. Wow. Oh, it's a little dark, isn't it? I can adjust the lighting a little. It's a little, I think there's a cloud passing by, so it's a little dark. But hello. First stream from the new place. Oops. Where is this knob? Okay, I think that's a little better. Okay. Still a little shadow, but okay, that's better. New phone, who dis? I know. New place. As you can see, nothing on the wall. Actually, behind me, that door is just like I think it's a bathroom. So not, yeah. Sloth, hello. Conan, how's it going? Ro, hello. Rasambo, hello. Tilting at Twitch, nice username, hello. Corgi Buds, hi. ODM with the 71, thank you. ODM, welcome back. 71 Buzz, hello. Jampod, hi. Warfinger, Ivan, hello. Ninewalker, hello. Blood Easy, how's it going? It's been a minute. Good to see you all. We've just been busy. Alright, so yeah, we've just been busy with, I don't know, like, setting up the place. It's been just like settling in, unboxing one thing at a time. Oh, now this light is too bright. Okay, maybe I'll lower this a little. There we go. Yeah, like unboxing one thing at a time, putting furniture up. Today I put up some of the frames, like artwork in the living room, because we're expecting some visitors next week, and so yeah, it's been hectic. It's been hectic to say the least. How's Mum and Bun in the oven? Doing well. Actually, just this past week, felt tumbles for the first time, or bubbles. Very cute. So doing well. We had a little scare with gestational diabetes testing, but it turned out to be okay. Turned out to be negative, so that was good to know, because otherwise that's a lot of dietary changes and controlling and stuff like that. So it's one of those things that you can't avoid. It's like partly genetic, I think, and partly just kind of like bodily response level stuff. Basically it just depends on how the body takes the hormones and the changes and all that, and you kind of can't control it. And so yeah, at first we were like, oh no, crap, we're gonna be stuck with having to do all these changes. Turned out to be okay. So yeah, here we are. But yeah, luckily no issues. We celebrated the moment we found out it was negative, which just like went to have some dessert and ice cream and stuff like that, because otherwise you have to control your sugars. But yeah, thankfully it was negative. So but otherwise we're doing pretty well. Just getting ready for things. Doing like a little family gathering this coming month, so prepping for that. Just like hosting people and stuff. Yeah, it's been good. It's been the first week after moving was pretty tiring. The move itself was pretty tiring too. Like the movers were pretty good, but we just had a lot of like like right after you move, even with movers, you have some leftover small trinkets that you couldn't pack, or they couldn't pack, or that like it's like stuff in the fridge or whatever, like random stuff like that. That part actually is the more tiring part of the move, not gonna lie, because it's stuff that you can't quite pack in just a box, you know, because maybe stuff that could break or stuff that is like temperature sensitive or whatever it might be. And so that part took us a little bit longer, but you know, it was like 2-3 days after the move, after the movers came in, but that finalized okay, which was nice. Oh, Nine Walker 75. I thought you were gonna say it's 69. I know you failed after that, but I don't know what the next fun number will be. Thank you. R2MHD2, hello. Yeah, long time no see. In my heart, it's still 69. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, us boomers will not succumb to the 6-7. Do you trust the movers with your caps and boards? Yeah. So for the movers, what I do with the keycaps and keyboard stuff, actually a lot of the keyboard stuff is still in the bins. But what I've resorted to the past 2 moves I've done with keyboards and keycap stuff. So for like artisans, right? Like I'll move the artisan boxes myself. I'll pack them in like a checking bag, like like airport checking bag. So those, just get some, like a blanket on top, just pad them in, easy to pack, no big deal. But for keyboard stuff, which is really heavy, right? That stuff, I have like the carrying cases, right? So I'll just put them in the carrying case, and then I'll put many carrying cases into the into those Home Depot or Costco, like those 27-gallon plastic bins, the ones that are like injection molded, 27, like heavy duty. Those have been pretty good for the move with keyboard stuff or like any heavy stuff, because they contain that pretty well. They don't really get damaged that easily. They don't really break that easily, as long as you fill them up, so that they don't like crush with weight. They stack quite nicely too, and so we bought a bunch of those. So a lot of those were used for the keyboard stuff and for just like heavy wares, like heavy boxes, or like so you can put box within the box and that kind of stuff. So secondary containing is probably the easiest way to protect your stuff. But next time you move, I'm gonna get a job with the moving company. Yeah, so you can sneak in and grab some of the wares. That works. Soran, hello. Yeah, I know. I guess this is a EU friendly timing as well. How are you, Soran? Okay. But yeah, first stream in, I don't know how long it's been. I think I haven't streamed for like a month and a half, maybe. Let's see. I can scroll up on. Yeah, I streamed on June 7, so about month and a half. Time flew, but I feel like I didn't do much that month and a half. It was just moving, settling in, getting shit ready for gatherings and other things, and then obviously getting stuff ready here at home, and setting things up and whatnot. And also, honestly, just kind of summer has been on the hot side this year, so just kind of tired after work and whatnot. So bumming around and doing nothing has been a good chunk of it too. It is kind of EU friendly for me. Gotta go to bed soon. Oh, I guess if you're up early, then that makes sense. Been doing good. How about you? Doing well. Setting up home stuff. Setting the utilities up took a while here too. Like we had to wait basically an extra week to set up the internet, because the fiber optic box, like the cable, and the box, like what was that? They call it like the ONT box. That wasn't here. I think the previous tenants either took it with them or it got uninstalled somehow in between the moves, or in between tenants. So we had to wait for a week for a technician to actually come in with it to install it. And then on top of that, the router, the gateway that we had from, and I guess in my case we're using Verizon, like we had constant disconnections with the internet. So it wasn't good for like I'm currently located in like one of the bedrooms, and like the router is like located a little further in the middle of the place, and like it would constantly drop. So we got a new router. It's been better. connection stability wise. So there was that. Setting up the gas actually took like 2 weeks because the technicians were like not around for like July 4th, and then the week after they're completely booked, so I had to wait an extra week, so it took like 2.5 weeks almost to set up the gas. So we were just using like an induction cooker for a little bit, which was, you know, kind of slows you down, right? Just fewer things at the same time. Oh, I think there's a small audio delay. Can you clap? Oh, never mind. It's just mobile Twitch. Oh, really? Is there a delay for the mobile Twitch stuff? Does the vertical thing work? I like saw the email and I set it up kind of clumsily. So I was just like, I'm not sure even if it works. I've never tested it. I can clap though. Clap. The player is bad. Ah, okay. Okay, I mean, that's kind of on par with Twitch mobile user experience. Yeah. I was just getting used to the old stream background. I know. Yeah, we only were there for like a year, so yeah. No delay? Okay, cool. All right. So let's get into it. So I have a few things to show. The first thing I got to show before the keyboard is Mr. Bad Chad from Rubrehose sent out a Deskmat sample for his new Deskmat release. So I have it right here. So just kind of wanted to show it. The Deskmat I have on the desk at the moment is the Howlab Caps Noah, a Canadian artisan maker. They just released a Deskmat, and just, you know, I got one of these blue ones. But obviously this one I purchased. This sample is from Mr. Chad from Rubrehose, and it's pretty cute. It's kind of this summer themed Deskmat, kind of tropical theme. Let me see what he wrote to me about this. It's like inspired by... It's directly inspired by the artwork of Hiroshi Nagai, a Japanese artist who is a staple in the vaporwave aesthetics sort of scene. Chad actually made this, you know, like himself, and then he tried to reach out to the artist, you know, that served as the inspiration. Even tried to get the mats to them, but apparently they couldn't locate their studio in Japan. But yeah, pretty cool. So let's take a look. So yeah, it's kind of, it looks like this. Actually, does it? I guess that's the end of the mat. So yeah, it looks like that. Maybe I'll take myself off from the screen here. It's pretty cute. Kind of has different references to the Rubrehose characters. So there's like one character here. There's another one here. The boat over here, that's the tuggy boat. Then there's the wolf, and I think that's Lucy, or the Lucette reference as well for the Rubrehose brand characters, sculpts and references. So this one is smooth. Let me see. He sent me a few links. I'll post them to the chat. He sent me a vendor list. US, China, Korea. Link is here. It's from KLC. And it appears there is both smooth and rough. So I have a smooth one here for the sample, but there is a rough one being sold at the pre-order as well. Price, it's being sold at $30 plus shipping, I imagine. Yeah. But yeah, ships around October, it says here, 2-week pre-order period, and several pictures here. Looks like I recognize this setup. I think this is Mr. Is this Sterling setup? But yeah, pretty nice. Pretty nice. But yeah, this is the Rubrehose mat, the new one. Hello, Mr. Lightning. What board are you gravitating towards mostly nowadays on the daily? So for a while, I was using the RF8X that I built last. That was the last stream I did before I had to move, and I actually stuck to Topre for that whole month. I only switched out to a 60 recently because I was just setting things up and I just grabbed something really quick. And I also wanted to switch to MX. So this is the Misc 60, which is about to ship, I think. From the proxies, but I just wanted to switch to something with MX blocks, so switch to this one. But you know, just generally speaking, I've been using a lot of Topre these days actually, and then sometimes I'll switch to other things, like with MX stuff, like MX Browns or MX blocks usually. I think MX Browns, I was using the Daji 84 2.1, which had MX Browns, and then for MX blocks, I've been using this 60, which is a 60% that's top mount. But yeah. Okay, so I guess let's get started. So let's check out today's keyboard. So Qwertykeys reached out for me to check out the QK100 Mk2. So I know that they've done, you know, for a while people were talking about that they might retire their Neo line. It didn't sound like they were going to do that. They are also expanding a little bit more on their regular Qwertykeys line, and this time they bring about a full-size keyboard that pretty much has all the bells and whistles that you can expect from one. And in addition to that, it is pre-built with keycaps included, which is pretty nifty. And they're also doing a like an offer for a discount for this board. So they are currently, so I believe they're selling this at $219, $220, but they basically are doing like a 10% sale around like $200 basically, pre-shipping, for the first 2 weeks of the pre-order, which just started this Friday. But this is a sponsored build, I guess, because they did send it out for me to keep here, and so, but I haven't opened it up. So, but yeah, we'll open it up, check it out in its stock form, maybe take it apart. Look at the internals and stuff. Maybe we can replace the switches, or maybe take out some of the foam because it has a bunch of layers of foam and whatnot. And then we can just talk about all the different features of the board. Just gonna unpack it here. So the board comes with in 4 different colorways. This is the black night colorway that's shown here, but they also have, I believe, blue, silver, and pink. So blue, silver, pink, black are the 4 colors they have, and they're all anodized. I think the black one is the only one that's not anodized. Actually, I think it's coated, but we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, oops. Okay. All right. So let's open this. Got a little manual. I think the autofocus is off. Got a little manual. There is a web driver website where you can customize it sort of like VIA, but their own for configuration, Bluetooth and wireless connections as well as cable, of course, like wired. Then they have audio reactive lighting here, a touch bar, dual screens, RGB, and of course inside you'll expect to find some batteries as it's also wireless compatible. And then kind of guidelines for how to use all the different function keys on that. Pretty nifty. It looks like here we got an accessories box. Let's see, some spare switches, a USB cable, and a keycap and puller, switch puller. We'll just put those back because I have some myself. I think this is just the dongle, as well as a USB kind of conversion dongle, C to A. Pretty nifty. And some spare Oat switches. Oops. These are PCB mount. All right. Yo, William, how's it going? How are you? Good to see you. All right, let's open this up. At last, I caught you stream. Oh well, to be fair, I also didn't stream for like the past month, so there's that. But yes, a little daytime stream as it's the weekend, and I want to take advantage of the natural light. So my last two posts on Instagram, I was like, oh yeah, actually I moved and I have natural light during the day, which is like amazing. And I was like, well, if I can take advantage of some of that, it would be good. I mean, I'm using a little extra light to fill in for my face here, but yeah. Ooh, wow, that's very nice. Okay. Let's see. So, chilling, new place? Yeah, new place. The first stream at the new place. Okay. So, from what I read here, they have these new ABS and PBT material keycaps, which is kind of cool. So they are double shot ABS for the most part, and some PBT. It's like a mix. So the double shotting looks pretty nice, kind of similar to what GMK does. It does look like the injection mold sprues are also kind of out of the way, so you don't get that like little injection mold sprue on the back here. That like little flashing that you get on GMK stuff often. But very crisp looking. Texture-wise, actually a little smoother than GMK's stock. Another thing I'm noticing right away is the homing keys are bars. They're not scooped, and the bars are not very prominent. If I have to give some feedback, is that it would be nice if these homing bars were a little bit more prominent than they're shown here. They're a little bit very slight, but nonetheless non-scooped keys, barred homing keys, but the legends look very crisp, and you can see sort of from the reflection of the light here alone that the texture is on the smoother side. So I imagine it could shine more relatively quickly, but I'm actually not sure. I mean, you know, you would have to just try and see. I do wonder how quickly these would shine. And yeah, So, looks pretty good. Colorway wise, it's kind of, it's like a white on black alphas, and we got like these light gray modifiers with like a dark gray sort of legend. We got some RGB with the dark gray legend accents. An interesting choice of accents just on the left side and here with delete page up and page down. It's an interesting layout for a full size. It's like not quite traditional full size. You can sort of tell, like if I compare this 60% portion here, you can actually see that the layout, you know, it's not quite, the F12 doesn't go all the way here. Actually, it's a little bit more compressed on the F row to make room for this button area, which I believe turns on and cycles through the RGB stuff. It's just like a physical button. There's like this kind of touch screen module here, and then the numpad is a pretty kind of more standard numpad with an extra like corner key here. But an interesting way to do this, basically here what they did was they got rid of the useless keys, relatively speaking. They got rid of scroll lock, they got rid of pause break, right? They got rid of the insert key, and they just have home and end, delete, which, you know, gets used a lot, and page up and page down. So they kind of got rid of the stuff that doesn't really get used much in regular full-size keyboards and added other things to sort of make up for that space difference, such as this like little, you know, LED and touchscreen, or sorry, like control module, and this like, you know, other screen as well. So yeah, ThinkPad kind of vibe. Yeah. Pentagon, hope the move went well. Thank you. It did. We are settling in. I was actually setting up some frames and artwork out in the living room, but it's gone pretty well so far. I mean, yeah, settling slowly, but it's going. Let's take a look at the keyboard itself. So from the top side, we can see that the board kind of has a slightly rounded look for the corners. We have, I think this looks like actually slightly thicker bezels on the top and bottom compared to the sides. And then again, as I mentioned, the separation of the clusters is a little bit different from standard. You have 1.25U row keys here. I think that's a 6.25U spacebar. And then up to Alt and Super here. And the FN keys down here, they decided to forgo the right control over here and put the arrow cluster right away, the nav cluster, and then you got the numpad section, right? Right now it's fully built with these Neo or Keygeek Oat switches, which have a 45-gram bottom mount. They are like quasi, I think, full travel, and currently built on these polypropylene plate. So it kind of has that thocky sound that people call for the sound profile of the board. Let's look at this. Let's look at the side here. So the side, the top piece kind of covers all the way down to the bottom here, except on this part, the bottom sticks out a little bit here. We have a little sort of band over here, and then you kind of see the bottom weight, which is kind of this looks like an aluminum piece extending down all the way to the side, kind of carves in right over here. And then you can kind of see the bump on right here is the bump ons on the weight here, and then here at the corner. And then oh, that's interesting. So we have on the left hand side there is the port. This is an interesting choice for a full-size keyboard. I don't see left-hand side ports on full-size keyboards that often. This is an interesting choice. And then you guys can see sort of the texture of this coating. So it kind of has this black sparkle coating for the black piece, the aluminum piece. The other piece that's here at the bottom of part of the weight is just a smooth anodized black piece, right? And then we have the weight here, which maybe I'll just peel off so that you can see it better. Kind of gives a little bit of that matrix lab vibe, right? A little bit of that matrix lab vibe for the aesthetic of the bottom. This is something that we've seen Qwertykeys kind of lean towards as the models have developed. I believe the QK100 Mk2 sort of looked like that too. And then we have external screws. They're not, screwless design with the screws kind of like over here. We have external screws all at the bottom. So we have 8 bolts here to undo to get into the keyboard. Obviously, since this is pre-built, for most people, you would not expect to have to go into the case unless you want to take out some of the foam or change some of the stuff inside. But I mean, pretty clean, honestly. I think for what they're offering for $200 is pretty nice. On the side here, we have a selector trigger for cable, Bluetooth, and I think G stands for the wireless, so 2.4 G. And then here you have a WinMac selector for changing your modifier keys actions, right? So that is also a little different. Yeah. And then, so it looks pretty nice. So we can try out the board as is, plug it in, and then maybe what we can do next is just open it up and look at the internals. In matrixification, yeah, there definitely have been some brands that have done more of that, I think, right? Okay, so we have a kind of screen here that turns on. Obviously the time is not set correctly, but there is like a, maybe I need to, hold on. So there's like a caps lock indicator. It says it's USB connected, wind mode, and then there's like a little dot matrix LED thing where like it shows whatever you're typing, which is pretty cool. And then there's like, this is like the RGB control. It like sort of changes what's going on for the RGB. It's kind of hard to see because it's very bright here, but it does that. And then this, I believe, is supposed to be for volume control. It actually does work. It's a little harder to see, but it so when you like scroll it up and scroll it down, the LEDs are lighting up here. So it controls the volume here, which is pretty nifty. I actually like this this part a lot. I think that's kind of useful. This is kind of useful for a full size, I think. Something that can control the volume and whatnot. I think that's pretty nice. And then I think these LEDs also have like a audio reactivity, so they apparently react to whatever audio is being fed in here. So from like whatever you're playing for the music. So there's that. Pretty cool, pretty nice. Let's see. This cable's like going crazy. Will wanted to hello, hi Diego. I saw your review of the Synthesy. What was your overall thoughts on the board? Well, it was a while back, but pretty nice board. A little bit. It was an interesting implementation of a plateless type of design. They went for essentially plateless top mount, which is a little bit reminiscent of a couple boards that did that. I think the Jur A06 or Jur TKL did this a while back. There's some other boards that have done plateless PCB mount essentially, so it doesn't require a plate at all. Everything is built onto the PCB directly, And so yeah, that was an interesting implementation. It felt pretty solid. It did have some give from it not requiring a plate at all. And I personally, it still has that kind of characteristic plateless sound. So if you're into plateless boards and the sound profile of that, then it'll be up your alley. That said, it kind of was, all the classic elements of, like a lot of Mary's designs, which is kind of just like, boxy, box and a wedge type of design, the kind of like the more classic like chain figures and whatnot. And then you would get that like plateless experience from it, which, if you're not into like just top mount plate stuff, then that could be a nice change. But it was interesting. It was done nicely. The top piece was this nice thick piece of aluminum, and that's what it gets mounted to. It sounded pretty good, in my opinion. That said, a lot of Mary's stuff is definitely not on is more on the premium side of things. So depending on your budget, that could change your view on it. But I liked it when I tried it. I think if you're looking for a TKLS playlist like that, it's a good board. Kind of, if you're thinking like plateless 60%, you can think of the like Integral or the Lily, right? Like Gawk Lily and like those boards. But now you kind of have like TKLs, which is usually it's like what gasket mounts, top mounts, right? Plateless, there's not too much out there. So I mean, I guess the Neo 80, the first version of the Neo 80 actually was plateless. Actually, really nice board. I don't think they sell it anymore because they switched it to the current series, which is like the Neo 80 ECU, right? But the first Neo 80 had PCE mount with the little gasket pieces, and it actually sounded pretty good. But this one is like plateless, but it's mounted to the top piece, so you get a good amount of rigidity from actually having bolts holding your parts together, as opposed to pressing against a gasket in the bottom piece. So if you liked plateless but you wanted some of that extra rigidity, I do think the C was doing that pretty nicely. All right, let's try typing on this, shall we? Okay, let's see. Let me turn off I think the AC is running right now, so it might be a little loud, right? Actually, it's off right now. It's just okay. Sorry. That was my fault. I forgot to unmute. It's been a bit. Okay. So I'm going to be typing on this completely stock. Oh yeah, I live kind of close to these train tracks, so if it's really loud, let me know. Sometimes they pass by every so often. Sometimes it can be a little louder, but it's not too bad. I'm used to it now, but I think maybe it comes through the mic. Alright, so this is completely stock QK100 Mk2. This is the Keygeek Oat switches on a polypropylene plate and all the foam that's included inside of the case. For the keycaps, they have this kind of cool mesh of gray and white and black keycaps with their ABS PBT manufacturing. I'm not sure who manufactures these, but they do look pretty crisp legend-wise, and quality of the keys, they're on the smooth side for the texture, and let's see what it sounds like. All right. Alright, so that's what it sounds like. The switches themselves are pretty smooth. I would not really mod these, but yeah, very foamed up kind of sound. So we probably should open it up and try some different switches, or maybe even the same switches. But the feel is pretty good. It's a very nice and soft for the feel. I believe they have a 1.2 millimeter PCB as well. I don't know what the mounting style is on the inside, so I do want to check it out. But I see keycaps here. I have some info. It's doubleshot ABS keycaps. They're Owlab's own keycap molds, which have a little bit of mixed in PBT to resist shine and enhance durability. Okay, cool. So Owlab produced keycaps. Okay, so many LED effects. Okay. All right, sweet. Oh. All right. Let's go through the mods real quick. Yeah, very foamed up sort of sound. So if you're into this particular it's Kiwi over here. 1 second. If you're into this particular sound though, stock is pretty good to go. Hi Kiwi. Oh, hi. Do you guys want to see Kiwi? It's been a while. Raise it for him. Okay. Say hello, Kiwi. The CEO. He has been good. He's been very happy about the new place. There's a lot more room for him to run in. He claimed the second bedroom, which we're still unpacking stuff from. and setting stuff up. He looks very orange right now because it's daytime. Right, Kiwi? You don't want to say hello? Oh, look at you, so proper with your cross paws. He's interested in other things. Okay, good boy. Or you want to stay here for a little bit? I'll leave you here. Good boy. Okay. He looks foamed up. He's stocky. Oh. Good boy. Okay. Kiwi, how do you like this keyboard? No? Not interested? Not interested. Oh, he's just staying here. Okay. Alright, so maybe it is time we maybe consider taking this apart. Put this to the side. Okay. Kiwi, look. Not interested. Bye. He just left. I showed him the board and he's like, no. Damn, this quality tail got comp. Oh. No, he had nicer stuff. Alright, let's open it up. Okay, so got a bunch of screws here. Play the music again. And, oh, he just went to the bed to sit down there. Alright, so what's your go-to lube for the MX Blacks and thoughts on the 3204? I actually go between 205 and 3204 depending. If they're very smooth, 3204 is pretty good. It's slightly less viscous than 205. So the a single brush layer of the 205 can feel a little heavy on some switches, but if the switch feels a little scratchy, you use 205. If it's pretty smooth, then 3204 is pretty nice, but my tech for lube is just I just brush on the stem for the most part. Make sure you lube your spring swap. I highly advise spring swapping. Obviously the weight kind of depends on your preference, but yeah. 205 or 3204 for me have been pretty good for MX Blacks, just in general. Yeah. Okay. Kind of hard to. Alright, so I see some ribbon cables, what it looks like. Okay. So top side, there is one ribbon cable here connecting to the screen. Not sure which way it goes. There. One ribbon cable for the top side. For this part here, that's the one. So you just undo, kind of lift it up here, and then eject the ribbon cable. And then, let's see down here. And there's a second ribbon cable connecting to the second, the other module here.
or the PCB rather. So there. Oop. And then there's a third one on the other side as well. So just here, lift, take them off. Pretty simple to take off though. It looks like the cables are fairly long. So I had like no issues taking that off. Also, they don't have as many pins, so it's alright. It's not too bad. Okay, so let's start bottom to top. So on the bottom case, we have some case foam. We have this sort of like or like rather so that prevents things from bottoming out, but another piece of foam here. And then we have these two ribbon cables sticking out from the bottom case. The bottom case here looks like the weight over here is a compartment for our batteries and whatnot, and daughter boards and all that kind of stuff. So we can actually disengage these screws and take a look at the bottom piece. So it comes right off. So one cable here, one cable there. These screws are all for the bottom. Just gonna make sure that they don't fall off. There is our bottom compartment. So on the one side we have the little toggles for the Mac mode and the connectivity, the switches here. That's the ribbon cable for that. We have two batteries here, 4,000 milliamp hours each, 3.7 volts. Pretty nice. They are not attached with an adhesive and connected with just JST cables here that connect to the USB portion here, so that will also serve for recharging your batteries. So this is our power circuitry over here for the batteries, and they just have a little compartment here for that. Looks like this portion here is to protect this bottom area. Just a little silicone piece that covers this metallic plate that essentially functions as this Qwertykeys logo portion, but fairly straightforward design-wise. It kind of contains everything in here. So that is pretty much all the bottom piece stuff. It's kind of nice that the batteries, so these can be replaced quite easily because they are not adhered, and also they're fairly standard sizing, 4,000 milliamp hours. They cite that for these 8,000 milliamp hours, so there's two batteries, right? It can last up to 800 hours with no lights or screens on, 100 hours with screens on, and 40 hours if you have full RGB and all screens on. So, you'll 40 hours, you'll definitely be recharging this every so often, 100 hours as well. So the screens definitely take up a lot of the battery power, but 800 hours is pretty solid. That you won't have to recharge for a long time if you're just using it for typing. So, but I imagine most people would use the screens to some degree because you would have it. So, because I think it would be pointless to have it and not use the screens at all. So every 100 hours, it's not too bad. You would be charging it maybe like twice a week or so, depending on your use. Okay. Make sure. Okay. So this is reattached. Okay. I guess we can leave the foam pieces aside for now. We can consider whether or not we want to put them back in. Alright, let's take a look at the main portion of the internals, which is this PCB portion. So, mounting style, it looks like they're using a PCB mount gasket. So, these gaskets get held by the bottom piece here. And so they kind of just sit on the bottom case and they're just held up there. The plate isn't doing any mounting. The plate is just holding the switches in place. So effectively, you could actually run this without a plate as well. But I would not advise it, actually, as you do have per key flux cuts. So we have a 1.2 millimeter PCB with per key flux cuts. So this design definitely doesn't lend itself to a kind of rigid feeling, build, because you have so many flux cuts everywhere. You have here, you have them on the numpad, you have them everywhere on the alphas. It's very flexy. You can kind of see already. Just from this alone, it's very flexy. All these per key flex cuts are definitely going to lend to a very, very soft typing. Obviously, right now, a lot of that softness is kind of being fought against by the foam that's already on it. So you would have to, and the plate. So, but without those, you would definitely have a little bit too much flex, I would assume. But yeah, very, very flexy build with 1.2 mils and that. Oh, let's see. This bottom piece didn't fully get assembled. I need to redo these screws. I think the little plate portion didn't go in properly. Just gonna assemble that. Screw doesn't quite line up quite easily. There we go. It's not quite lining up. Hold on. It's very hard to see. This room is getting warm. guess let's take these keycaps off and we can unbuild it and see what it's like without foam. Okay. Oh, Kiwi. He's just bathing. Okay, so taking a look at these stabs now. We have plate mounted stabs. They do have some lube already applied to them. So pretty good performance wise. I don't really think you need to mess around with these plate mounted stabs too much. And I do believe the PCB also does technically have support for PCB mount stabs. So if you were to rebuild this, you can also use PCB mount stabs for that. Hello from the beach. Oh, nice. Big Mats and Onions. Hello. How's the beach? Is it nice out there? The switches here. So these are the Neo Oats. They do have a pole bottom out, I think. Actually, do they? Actually, no, not quite. It's the rails bottoming out on this. You can kind of see it from this side. Okay. We can take off our plate. Very flexible plate, polypropylene. Just sort of bends like crazy. Plate mounted stabs. We don't need to mess with them, I think. The application of lube is pretty well done. From factory. And now we have a few layers of foam. We have one thick layer here. We have a layer of the P foam sheet with the plastic cover, right? Kind of like that. And then we have our per key flex cut 1.2 millimeter PCB. So lots of flex on this, and it's thin, so you do have a lot of give to the entire kind of assembly. Once again, you do have the option to do PCB mount stabilizers if you so wish. So that's something that you do get an option for. But essentially it is PCB mounted. You can see from the little gaskets on the edges. On the top and the bottom, there's 5 and then 5 at the bottom, and they're not directly across from each other. You could actually take off this here from the spacebar as well if you wanted to do no spacebar mounting for the mounting system here. You can also avoid any mounting around the spacebar. Taking that off can help. The corner ones do look like they have a little extra bit here, like this pillar here. I believe that is to help the case so that it doesn't so that it basically does like a force break mod type of deal, so that there's not much reverb from the case alone. So alright, so maybe we can try taking off the foam. And I do have some other switches here that we could try. These are similar. These are HMX Game1989 switches. These are also almost full travel. A little bit more like full travel compared to the Neo Oats, so they won't be as, I think these are clackier, sort of like high pitch sounding compared to these. Maybe a little deeper sounding, so we can try these as well if you wanted to hear that, but I did bring these out if people wanted to see. I think I'm gonna leave this layer of foam on. The reason being that with the per key sort of flex cut stuff going on, I think it's a little bit too much to remove it entirely. We can remove this P foam, but I don't think we should remove this in between foam. So I'm gonna leave that in place for now. Another thing that I do observe here is there is a reset button from the top. Or rather, actually, I think this is the button from the... Oh, no, that's the button for the RGB control. And it comes in from the top here. It's just a little metallic cylinder, and it presses this switch that's installed on top of the PCB. So it's an on PCB controller, but yeah, the hole lines up on the plate for the PCB. So just make sure that everything's nicely lined up. You can see that button there. I don't think we need to mess with our stabilizers, so I'll leave them alone. I do notice that these little pillars also help with plate alignment. They keep these corners in place, which is nice. Maybe we can try these other switches too. But the Neo Oats are quite nice as well. I would say I would use them stock, but we can try these other ones if you wanted to hear something different, and without foam. Well, I guess without some of the P foam. It'll probably be quite muted with it without this. We can just give it a shot. I imagine this configuration will be a lot more muted than earlier. But maybe less of that foamed up sound. These HMX switches are maybe one of the few that, since they don't have that like pole bottom out sound, they are a bit more akin to just standard like Gateron, for example, style switches with full travel. If people are in the chat, are you guys having a nice weekend so far? It's been pretty good weather. And yesterday we just went out to play some board games with friends. Well, technically it's like a brewery, but there's like these nice big tables. So, and it's like BYO, whatever. Like you can bring board games and food, and you can just have it there too. So we're just having drinks. Obviously, my wife wasn't drinking; she's just having non-alcoholic stuff. But doing that, and played a new board game called Heat. It was pretty good, actually. A very fun board game where you basically are like on a racetrack, kind of like Formula style racetrack, and you use cards to boost, like to set your speed and your engine, and you basically are trying to go around the track as quickly as possible, right? It's like a proper race, and it kind of feels like that, using these cards, and they set like your speed, and like you need to like not overheat, and like go under certain speed limits at certain curves. It's a very fun game. Oh, hello, Raiders, welcome. Mango, hi. How's it going? Finally catching a stream. I know, it's EU-friendly time right now, so that's why. I wanted to take advantage of some of the daytime light here, so I streamed a little early today. Usually I stream on the evening time for you know, in my case, like US East time zone, and so that usually ends up pretty much at an impossible hour for anyone EU based. Yeah. But yeah. What's the race you like the most? You mean from that game, the Heat one? We only did one game, so we did the Italy track, which was pretty fun. But if you're talking about like other, like, you know, like if you're talking about like Formula One or like something like that, I'm not super knowledgeable about it, so I actually can't really tell you like if I have a favorite or not. I watch it when people watch it around me, but I don't like follow it closely. Oh, it's a meme? Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, got a little dark. It's just the clouds are sort of casting a shadow here. It's like I'm just trying to reach the light control. Dynabix, hello, how's it going? Hola, hola. Anyway, Mango, I hope you had a good stream. Thank you so much for the raid and welcome raiders. If we don't know each other, I'm Diego. I go by Lightning in the keyboard community. I've been building keyboards and streaming for quite some time. Has it been like, when did I do my first stream? I did my first stream like around 2018, like 8 years ago, maybe 8.5 years ago now. I've been in the community for almost 10 years, like 9.5 years. Yeah, I've been around for a while. I've been around for a while. 25 years, yeah. Same, but different. But yeah, I've been around for a while. I like keyboards. I've made a lot of good friends from the community. I still enjoy building stuff and tinkering around with new stuff that comes out. And yeah. Aesthetically Flip, hello. How are you? Drop that switch. And actually, I took a little break from streaming like the past month because we were moving and we were just kind of getting settled in. So this is my first stream since moving, actually. I remember watching you build a 7V, and that was when I fell down the rabbit hole in keyboards. Wow, 7Vs! I was building those a lot, like years back. I haven't built a new one in a minute, actually. Can you help me lock in keycaps for a build? Yeah. What kind of build do you have? What layout? What color case do you have going? Okay, maybe I'll just put these other switches in here for now. I have an unbuilt 910 PC Vintage Copes. Oh, okay, the Vintage Cola Smoke colorway. That's the somewhat like, it's like almost brownish in certain lighting. Saw your Chocolatier and Dracula builds and can't really choose. Both look great. So that one I actually really like how the Dracula one looked because it pops so nicely with the multicolor weights. Yeah. I kind of do like, so when it comes to polycarbonate pairings, I feel like polycarbonate itself, just because it's like translucent, sort of lends a little bit more flexibility in the kind of colors you can choose compared to solid color cases. So I think you shouldn't be afraid to use, you know, like for example, like Dracula, the whole idea was to match the weights rather than the case, right? So that's kind of why it worked out pretty well. Yeah. Chocolatier just had a rerun, right? Congrats, by the way, on the life changes. Thank you. We are excited as well. Thank you so much. Shipping to customers now. Oh, what? It's already shipping? Oh, that was so fast. That was incredibly fast. You're kidding. Oh my god. It feels like so little ago. Okay, ribbon cable 1. I think it being a rerun with only one child kit helps. Yeah, I do know Zambumon is pretty mindful about that kind of stuff. He doesn't like to clutter much with a lot of child kits and that kind of stuff, so I'm sure that definitely helps planning. Not to mention, at least it's like a rerun, so it's just like you know there's no color matching and all that business, right? Okay, hopefully I got that right. Before I close it up fully, let me just test that it works. Okay, I see the screen slide up. That seems to work. Huh. The lighting is working, but for whatever reason, hold on, let me try this other cable. Oh, there. Okay, it's working. Alright, cool. This cable, for whatever reason, is still a little sensitive. Okay, sweet. A little foam catching on here. Marvicius, hello, first time joining your stream because Europe. Yes, thank you so much for coming in here, and also welcome. I know that I usually don't stream Europe friendly times because I stream night times for me, which is basically middle of the night for you guys. But yeah, Nana Rip, for the vintage coat colorway, yeah, like, I mean, obviously those two choices that I made were pretty, like you know, conscious choices. Like I did them because I did think they would look good. I think one of them was suggested by someone in the chat, but the Dracula one I think looked good. You know, you can't go wrong with obviously like more bland and classic like WOB and that kind of stuff, or like WOB variants. Let me look at some of the key sets out there that would kind of go well with this. I'll take a look here. Key sets. Vintage Coke. That GMK 1520 set I think was a nice set too, but that's basically a WOP variant. Vintage Coke. I'm not sure. No, I was like Alter. No. Digital Nightmares, like the Analog Dreams Digital Nightmares colorway. I would rather do Dracula in that case. So no. Let's see. Black Snail, that's kind of like WOB. Obviously like Noir. I wouldn't lean too heavily on the blue either. I think Dracula is nice because it has multiple colors and that goes with the weight, so that's why I lean towards that. But like purely bluish colorways I don't think will go well. Let's see. I looked at what's in stock all over Europe, and honestly, I can't find a match better than Dracula or Chocolatier. I mean, would something like Dolce work okay? Maybe not, though. I feel like the warm gray might make it look a little too, just a little off. from that like coke brownish color. I'm not sure though if you're into that. I don't think so. I don't think it works better than the two. Oiler, GMK Oiler, maybe. It's like GMK Oiler has black and gray, sort of similar to these keycaps actually. The ones here, a little bit darker, but so. Foundation, fundamentals. Foundation's a little bit warm. Maybe not. No, I think the contrast is too strong on that. Gray on black, a little too stealthy. If you wanted something lighter, like Hanok or something like that, like brown and like a light alpha color, would go okay. But yeah. Dracula it is, I think. Okay. I think Dracula will go nicely. I mean, the weight looks pretty good with it. So it's like multicolor weights, like it's a nice highlight. So I mean, it's nice that it has the badge on the top, so that I think that helps a lot with the multicolor. Okay. Let's put some keycaps back on this. Oh, very muted now. I kind of barely hear it. Okay, we'll see. We'll put everything on. I removed the P foam just to see what it was like. But yeah, I expect this to be pretty muted because it has the flex cuts. We're just trying things out. I guess you always have the option to tape your flex cuts shut. Right? I guess that is always an option. But yeah, today's stream is really, like, aside from checking out the board, it's really to kind of say hi again, because it's been a minute for me. We expect to get busier over time, and so I didn't expect to be kind of absent for a whole month and some from the move, but that's just the way it worked out. What's your go-to keyboard format at the moment? You mean the form factor, like the size of the board? I personally am a 10 keyless TKL or a 60% person. I do use 65s. I do use bigger layouts as well, like 1800 full size or you know, whatever it is. I don't really use 40s or like anything under 60%. It's just a little bit uncomfortable for me for symbols and that kind of stuff, because I do a lot of like technical writing, which involves like using a lot of symbols and whatnot, like from coding or writing reports or like writing equations, you know, what have you. Oh, what the? Oh, sorry, the screen went black for a sec. Oh, I see. How do I turn that off? There we go. Okay. But yeah. Previous owner of this keyboard was a psychopath, swapping caps lock and control around. Finally got VIA to work. Oh, I do use control on caps for everything. So like HHKB style stuff a lot. I don't necessarily take out like backspace. I don't remap that unless it's like actually physically mapped there, like for an HKB layout. But But I can flexibly change that. It's fine. I don't mind it. No. On the WinKeyless CKL, I don't. Well, so on the WinKeyless CKL, I'll still map. You know, like I have a 60% here, right? You know, assume this is a TKL, right? Assume this is a TKL. I also put control here on a WinKeyless CKL. So what I do is I put control here and I put WinKey here for Windows. If it's Mac, I put command here, alt here, control here. Yeah. But I do have Caps as control on every board that I personally use. It's just I'm already used to having Caps as control, like my pinky on the where the caps lock goes as control. So I personally just use that for everything. It definitely is a learning curve if you haven't done it before. Like if you're used to using control here, it's more uncomfortable for me now. I just grew out of that long time ago when I kind of started in keyboards. I got an HKB and I played around with it, and I just really enjoyed some of the changes in the layout. And Caps control was definitely something that threw me off for like a few weeks, and then I got used to it, and it was fine. Yeah, it was confusing at the beginning, and then it got better. But it's really not bad once you get used to it. It's quite nice. Because it's intuitive. The idea of Caps control is that you home row technique puts your fingers like here, right? So control being right here is quite nice because you have a lot of shortcuts that use it. And then twisting your arm like this or like your wrist like this is actually not that comfortable. For things, I know that obviously you get used to it, but for me it wasn't that comfortable once I got used to the switch. But don't blame me that it's different, you know. Oh, whoops. Mode. Oh, yeah. Missing that one. Oh, here. Oh, whoopsie. Okay. Okay. Oh, weird. Don't know. I currently use 65%, try mapping the control to Caps just to see if I could get used to it. After a week or two, I started missing the Caps control and other keyboards. Now I'm considering remapping every board, laptop I work with. Don't even have any. It's so nice. Once you do get used to it, it's so nice. It's so nifty. I do actually map everything that I work with. So if it's like a work computer, on Macs, you can actually go to the keyboard settings, and there's the modifier changes that you can do natively on the settings. Obviously, if it's locked by IT or whatever, like you can't do that, and that sucks. But if it's like a personal computer, like you can definitely do that, or like a work computer that allows you to change that setting, you can do that. Otherwise, you can use like what is that, carabiner elements or whatever it's called. That also allows you to change like keyboard behavior. If you're using like I guess if you're using Windows, you can also do it, I think, using either Power Toys or I think Power Toys, and also like Auto Hotkey should be able to handle that. So yeah, many ways to change that, even if it's not natively on the keyboard itself. So yeah, quite nice. But yeah, I personally enjoy that change. All right, let's try this out. Oh, I just realized that this light is kind of bright now because of the this lamp shining bright on this. Okay, does this view work? My camera is right here. There's the side view cam, so that works as well. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. Thought you were gonna stream like a few more months? No. I mean, a few more months, I'm going to stop streaming. The opposite of what you're thinking. I did not stream for like the past month or so because I was busy with the move and stuff. Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah. Doesn't it make sense? You're actually stopping flat out? Well, I mean, I'm taking a break. I have to take a break. What do you expect me to do? Well, yes. I mean, you know. Yeah. I mean, it'll be a break, but it'll be like 6 months at least. At least. it'll be a while. Cause you know I'll be full time taking care of a kid. You know. It's been 2 years now. Oh, for Nathan. Yeah, I mean, but for him, he actually said he was gonna. Well, did he say he was technically quitting? I guess not, right? I guess he implied that he was just getting out of the, you know, of like being an influencer kind of thing, right? I don't know. I don't know the exact deeds of what was said back then. Reach true endgame and peaced out. Yeah, the true endgame is the moment you kind of decide to quit. That's endgame. Endgame is quitting. Endgame is just being done, you know, which is okay. That's all right. Paternity leave from keywords. Yeah, I'm taking paternity leave. Like, I'm literally taking paternity leave. So yeah. Okay. Let's try this out, shall we? Okay. So now I have these are HMX Game1989 switches. Only plate foam, and no case foam, and yeah. So let's try that out. Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, might be loud. Alright, so as I did expect, it does sound thinner because we took out the foam, so it doesn't sound foamed up. These switches do have a little bit more of that plasticky sort of sound to them. They don't bottom out on the pole, so they're not quite like the Oat switches, which do bottom out on the pole. I mean on the rails here, sorry, but they are a bit more prominently sounding. So, for example, if you want to change the way the spacebar sounds, you can change it back to like the Oat switch, and it should be a little bit kind of louder. So here, right? So you'll kind of have a bit of a different sound. But I would say for this board, because of the flex cuts on the PCB, it probably is more beneficial to go with a build that has just a much louder switch. Actually, like heck, like tactiles and clickies I think would sound better on this. Obviously, like just like long pole switches with a much like sharper sort of sound I think would sound pretty good with this as well. These HMX Game1989 switches have like a full travel and don't quite have as strong of a bottom out sound, which is why it went along with the thinner PCB and the flex cuts. It's definitely on the thinner side for the sound. So yeah, let me go through the mods and we can talk about other features. Maybe we can look at the web driver that they have as well. All right, here are the mods. You can hear people, kids outside screaming. But yeah, holy bounce. Yeah. So this, the mounting on this is actually, it's basically PCB mounted gaskets that are hung on top of the bottom case. So the plate actually is just there to hold switches. It's just a switch positioning plate, truly. So yeah, so there is quite a bit of play. I did remove the case foam as well as the P foam, so there is a lot more kind of room for it to wiggle around. So I removed these 3 pieces, so that's also partly why. I imagine with the case foam it might actually be a little bit better too, a little bit fuller, but took it out just to see kind of what it's like. But yeah, quite a lot of bounce, quite very soft. It's a polypropylene plate, and with a lot of flex cuts. So, but for the pre-built state of the board, I think it's a really nice board. The Neo Oat switches are actually quite nice, and the keycaps actually are pretty nice. I really like these caps. The texture is pretty good. You could probably nitpick some things out of it. We can actually take a look at that for a sec. So you know, so I kind of mentioned where is it? Let me grab like a So the homing keys here, the F and J, I think the homing nub, the bar is a little bit on the, it's not quite as prominent on these guys. So I do, like, I would say, like, it would be nice if it were a bit prominent. Obviously this is injection molded, so it's not an easy change. Texture wise, it has a nice and smooth texture. It's not like super slick, but it's also not like very textured like brand new GMK either. You can kind of see some of the texture there, but it's like, it's fairly smooth texture on the keycaps. As you can see, the legends are quite sharp, and the placement of the legends is pretty good. Like, you could nitpick some of the letters, you know, a little bit, maybe a little bit thinner on some sides and not on the others, but in general, as far as like cherry profile is concerned, it's quite good. This is really good. These keycaps are included? Yeah, these are included. It's 200 bucks, and it's the full keyboard with switches and keycaps included, pre-built, plate mounted stabs. The PCB does have PCB mounted stab compatibility, so if you wanted to replace them, you can. And yeah, so it's pretty nifty. Are these the swag keys? No, these keycaps are Owlab's own keycap mold keycaps. They are ABS doubleshot with some PBT mixed in. I think it's majority ABS, some PBT. They say that the PBT is to resist shine and enhance durability, but yeah, it's majority ABS, a little PBT, double shot keycaps, and yeah, they are included with the keyboard. So actually, like, there's no replacement keycaps, like the accents and all that. There's nothing else to replace. Like, I don't have any extra keycaps. But yeah, I mean, the quality of the keycaps are, like, in general, of a lot of these new manufacturers is going up a lot, right? Like, I do notice some things, for example, like, you can kind of see in much more intense lighting. You guys can see, like, some, like, little haze here from the double shotting process, kind of like almost like translucent, and it's not like, I thought it was like a oil stain or something like that, but it's kind of bleeding through a little bit. But I think it's kind of like something about the mold here. It's a little weird, yeah. The S a little weird. Yeah, it's a little bit like, it's not perfect, right? It looks almost like it was rotated on its axis very, very slightly, right? Like rotated like 0.1 degree to the, I guess, like counterclockwise a little bit. Yeah. So I mean, if you want to nitpick this, it's you know, like this P looks really weird, right? This is a quotation mark, and this is supposed to be, what is this, an apostrophe? But an apostrophe here just looks like a little bar here. So you know, you can nitpick this stuff, but if it's included with the keyboard, it's hard to nitpick this, right? Like, if it's just freely included with the board. You know, like this 8 is much thicker than this 9. The alignment of this 7 symbol and with these guys is not quite great, right? It's not perfect. You know, like, we can nitpick this stuff all we want. But for a $200 plus shipping keyboard that includes pre-looped switches and keycaps and all the bells and whistles with the screens and all that stuff, and a full-size board, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. That shit well within the realm of good enough? Yeah, no. It's hard to say, like, if someone's like, hey, what do you think about a QK100 Mk2 for for my $250 budget? I'm like, yeah, go for it. It's pretty damn good. It's hard to recommend something else, right, in that, like, realm. I mean, there's some stuff out there too, but there's people coming out with new stuff all the time. But this budget market, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, what's offered out of the box is kind of crazy now. The value. Mr. Frank, hello. Hi, Daddy. Not yet, but soon. Yeah, we're getting there, man. Yeah, we're due later in the fall, so Hi Frank, hi Frank. How are you doing? Papa Frank. Yeah, I'm gonna need to ask you for some tips and tricks, man. It's like, yeah. It's good. We're doing well. We're just getting set up. But yeah, $200, man, for this stuff it's kind of crazy. Like screen, little dot matrix LED thingy, right? And then you have this guy here. It's hard to see with the light, but it has like these LEDs that react to the music. And also when you adjust the volume, it shows you the LEDs here. So it's just really nice. I like this a lot, actually. This little feature I actually kind of like. It's kind of more, it's in the realm of more tactile as an experience there. I think this is just a button to control RGB stuff, and then this button is to control the screen stuff. I think there's like the little bongo cat sort of typing away when you type. There's like this typing game, and then there's this like home screen. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like an old interface vibe? Yeah, it definitely has that. Oh, ads. Damn. Okay. Yeah. We can wait once people are back. Do you already know the sex of the baby? Yeah. It's gonna be a boy. It's Jover, man. I'm scared. Ah. I'm scared. I hope they're not like me. Too much. Don't get into the stuff I'm into. It's pointless. But actually no. Well, so maybe STEM. STEM is fine. I would like if my kid is into STEM, like into like science stuff. That would be awesome. Mini Diego's gonna be doom scrolling TikTok and getting addicted to Roblox in 5 years. That's Jover, man. Yeah. Oh god, please. That is it's a very ominous foretelling, but sadly very feasible. Please do not give them an iPad, thank you. Yes, we will be cutting down technology as much as we can. Oh my god. Sincerely, an iPad kid? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the advice, Drew, the parenting advice. A heartfelt, personal experience based anecdote here from Drew. I'm touched. Diego, remember, no artisan keycaps. Yeah, they can have the ones here. It's fine. They can. I mean, actually, they'll get bored quickly, right? They'll be like, oh, it's just toys, garbage. They'll be like, just throwing them in the trash. I'm like, oh, there goes whatever money spent on them, whatever it is. But yeah, it's Jover. Anyway, actually, wait. I would like to check out this web config thing. So where do I go for that? There's a manual for this, right? Earlier, where'd that go? Okay, driver website QK100. Let's see, QKconfig.com here. Let's see. Does it show up? Oh, there it is. Qwertykeys, new keyboard, QK100 Mk2. Alright, there it is. The device has been successfully loaded. There's a firmware update notification. Yeah, let me show you on full screen here. So you can like remap stuff. So yeah, I can remap stuff like caps to control. I can do it right away if you wanted. And then yeah, like there is mute, like there's controls for the little like interface at the top. You get up to 4 layers. Pretty neat. Let's see, Bluetooth mode, dot matrix controls, battery status, microphone backlight. There's like all kinds of stuff. So yeah, there's like 4 layers. You can control media, light, functions, macros, and other keyboard shortcuts. There's like screen management stuff, where I assume you can like control, I don't know, if I do connect now, how does it, LCD? You can, oh yeah, okay, you can like import stuff for the screen as well. I can like import like a background. There's like themes for the typing. There's a cat theme one right now preloaded. Looping animations as well. You can load those in. And then lighting effects, dot matrix adjustments and whatnot. So yeah, pretty nice to be honest. You can select the keyboard here, so it looks like they are allowing you to do all that. You can go on test matrix here and it'll tell you, oh wow, that's kind of nice. Okay, let me try to zoom in on this. It'll tell you how many times you've pressed that. That's kind of nice. Yeah, no QMK. Yeah. So built into this, pretty neat. Oh, it's in Chinese. Now I can switch to English. But yeah, that's pretty cool. This is nice. Very cool. Keylogger. Buddy OG enters chat. Oh baby. Anyway, yeah, kind of gives you an idea. I guess I can just X out and oh whoops. That's the dashboard. Okay, so yeah. And I can unplug and replug this in. Yeah, that's pretty nifty. That it lets you do all that. All right. Well, I guess let's just show off the board one last time here. Kind of now that it's done here, like I think I've kind of showed everything. So that's what it looks like. Here from the top view, I don't know what that does. And this is the side view, right? So that's what it looks like from this angle, right? So that's what that looks like. I just got a bunch of shit here. This is a little messy. But yeah, pretty nice. It's the QK100 Mk2. And then I can show you what the board looks like up close. So the black unit is, it's a coated unit. It's like black with sparkles, sort of. You can kind of see it. Are you still in the New York City area? Yeah. Well, New York City is pretty big, as you know. It has 5 boroughs, so like 5 big regions. And yeah, I'm still in the New York City metropolitan area. I'm not in Manhattan proper anymore, though. I haven't been in Manhattan since 2 years ago, though. It's like I'm in North York or Markham or whatever if we're Toronto. But yeah. And then the bottom, this is kind of encloses the daughter board as well as the batteries in here. That's also black aluminum. And then there's like this kind of plate that shows the Qwertykeys logo here. It's like a serial number thingy here. But it's a left side USB, which is kind of an interesting choice. Side profile, pretty clean. And then here there's toggles for Win Mac and cable and wireless options as well. And then, so there are two kind of like different, so there's a screen here, This is like this dot LED matrix. This is just like a regular screen. That's the button for RGB control, and then here there's a little array of LEDs, and this is kind of like to control volume and things like that. If you want to do that, you can map it to other things too, I imagine, to control other things. But yeah, when you plug it in, that's the screen. It's a little hard to see because of the lighting right now. It's a little bright, but this will light up along the line here to show that. And then right now, I think this, you can kind of click it to change the mode of what this shows. So right now, like this like raindrop motion, and then here to change the screen over here, kind of like what it's showing. So it's pretty cool. Oh, looks like it's synced at the time from the configurator. But pretty nifty for $200 right now. If you buy it within the first 2 weeks of the pre-order, it's $200. If you buy it a little later, it's $220 plus you know, shipping and tax or whatever. So pretty well priced. Okay, I think that's pretty much all that there is to cover for the QK100 Mark II. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. Let's see what's here. It's just the manual. This is the Oat switches that I took out. What is a Deskmat? Yes, we can talk about the Deskmat. So actually, the Deskmat is the Rubrehose Deskmat. It's currently on pre-order through KLC and other places. I can show you. I can post a link here. I'll just copy these links. Oh wait, I need to plug in a keyboard too to hit that message. But it's a Deskmat by an artisan maker in the community. It's inspired by the artwork of a Japanese artist. Kind of in this like vaporwave aesthetic sort of style. And it's the Rubrehose Deskmat. The links are in the chat, and it kind of features different characters that they made for their brand, Rubrehose. Like here, over here, and there's actually one more down here. But it's pretty nice. Nice like kind of beach theme, ocean theme Deskmat. And it comes in, this is the one is a smooth texture one, but there's a rough one as well. Yeah, pretty cute colors. Yeah, there. So it's nice. It kind of has, it's a little harder to see on this screen right now, but it kind of does have a little bit of a green turquoise hue coming down to like blue, and then this is just like regular sort of like sea blue, and then kind of like sand color. And you know, there's like the swimming pool and whatnot, but it's a nice design. It's a pretty cute design. If you're like into like that summery vibe, this one's kind of, it's nicely done. Chad told me that he drew this, you know, like he did this by hand first, you know, digitally, and then, but it's inspired by the work of Hiroshi Nagai. That he actually tried to reach out to the artists and their studio, but wasn't able to through like a friend in Japan. But he's hoping that he can like send them a mat and thank them obviously for the art that they do. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cute. What's up? Oh, that looks nice. Sorry, wife is assembling a kitchen cart. Got a kitchen cart for like a rolling cart for extra counter space in the kitchen. I was assembling that. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the QK100. I think it's a nice package altogether. For all that's included, includes keycaps, includes switches. It's pre-built. The stabilizers honestly don't really need any modding, and all the features that are here included are pretty well done, honestly. So for the price, I think it's a pretty solid buy. But yeah. I do have some feedback, obviously. Like, I'm not a huge fan of per key flex cuts. I do think, obviously, you can nitpick some of the keycap stuff. The ribbon cables were actually pretty easy to use, so that was actually, I would say, a positive thing. Let me see, foam. I mean, that's kind of more standard for these days, like budget kits. What else was there? Yeah, no, just generally really well made. Nice quality finish as well. No qualms with that. Left side USB, an interesting choice. I do wonder why they went with that, but that's just a designer thing. Layout choice, I actually do like what they did here, in the sense that they kind of got rid of stuff that people don't use, like right control, and then made the nav cluster a little bit shorter to accommodate the screen real estate, but still didn't sacrifice any of the crucial functionality like home and delete page up, page down. You still get a function layer stuff, you still get a print screen key, so I think that was handled fairly well, even if it's not like a traditional full size layout. So yeah. But yeah, okay. I guess we can wrap things up for now. Just gonna go and help my wife do some stuff, but and then probably feed Kiwi, who is napping here in the room. But yeah, I do have some builds to do. I do have a client build coming up in the next week, I think, whenever it arrives. I have also another build or another review stream for the Lumen Key 80 Mark II, I think. And I also have a build for a 65% board that's currently shipping to customers that were in the original pre-order, but that they might have extras of, I believe, called the GWID 65. It was this wooden gasket mounted board, and that was by Mr. Rafflesar, which what was their studio name? Hexology Design. Yeah. But yeah, I'll probably be building that at some point soon once it arrives. And then I have some like off-stream work going on. I've been doing some local builds. So, how's the landlord Kiwi? He's doing well. He's just taking a nap over here. Do you wanna see him? Are you getting a schema by chance? I'm not sure actually. I know that content creators have been posting. I haven't. Alex did mention that they would be reaching out to me, like Bull and Alex would reach out, but I don't think I've gotten recent contacts, so maybe not. As far as I'm aware, I'm not checking it out, but maybe they'll reach out soon. I don't know. I know that I was busy moving, and maybe I think they were just kind of respecting that and didn't reach out in that time. So if I missed the time frame, that's okay. It is what it is. But I initially heard from Alex saying that they might reach out to have me check out a schema, M60. But I guess with the move and the timing, they might skip me this time. It's fine. But yeah, let me get Kiwi. Kiwi, are you awake? Hi. Come here. Come here. Yeah. He doesn't want to. He's like, hey, help me. Yeah. Okay, he's here. Kiwi the big bro soon? Oh yeah, I guess so. Hello, Kiwi. Welcome back. Oh, he's trying to leave. The baby. Wait, there you go. He's looking back. Hello. You don't want to say hi? But my nap spot, yeah. Yeah, look at him. Look at all this natural light we get now. Well, not all of it, but it's being supplanted by the key light, but yeah. He wants to go, I think. Okay. My desk was in a dungeon too. I got upgraded when we moved. Oh, he's sitting. Okay, good. Yeah, I got a little upgrade for now, but we'll see how things change. Once the kid's here, I'm sure they'll be like, my wife's gonna be like, your desk out and other furniture here. Okay, Kiwi's leaving now. Bye. Does a kitty like the new place? Oh, he loves the new place. Oh, he's sitting over there. Oh, he went over there. Wait, let me see if I can turn this. Sorry, the camera setup is there, but oh no! Come on, come back. No! Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. Yay! Hi, Kiwi. Beautiful boy. Yeah, the windows. Oh, he sat down. So cute. He loves hanging out by the windowsill. He loves that stuff. Maybe I'll take this out of the way. Yeah, no, he's been liking the new place. Lots of room to run around. So he likes it a lot. He kind of plays Marco Polo a little bit. Like he goes to the other rooms and he go he chirp, kind of expecting us to find him or to go chase him. Or he'll yell at us to open doors for closets, right? He's wanting to go in and check out a closet. So he'll do that, that kind of stuff. How did he handle the move? We had him with a friend who lived in the same neighborhood as us during the move, so they took care of him for a day. So he was pretty good. I mean, obviously, whenever we were packing and doing house stuff, he was not enjoying that at all. When we were moving in, obviously, with all the boxes and the heavy lifting and all that, he also doesn't enjoy that. But once we were settled in, he settled in pretty quickly. Like, he was not like, we expected him to be like hiding for like a few days, just kind of settling in, but he actually ended up not doing much of that. He actually settled in really quickly, was like tail up, exploring everywhere really quickly. So I think he just enjoys having more space, more light, more windowsills to go onto. Yeah, he's been enjoying it a lot. I think he's been really good, honestly, since we moved. So yeah, we're very grateful for him because he's so chill. Yeah, they're sensitive. I mean, you have to kind of respect those boundaries and stuff, but otherwise, he's been pretty good about everything. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, I'll go bring it back here. Oh, there goes the cable, or the connection rather. I don't know why, but it'll come back hopefully. Might be overheating, huh? Might be overheating a little bit because it's kind of warm in this room. Yeah. When kid arrives, time to stream in the closet. I mean, I'm gonna be taking a break from streaming when the kid arrives. That's the bottom line. There's no way I'm gonna be like streaming regularly around that time. Yeah, no, definitely taking a break. Later in the fall. So I'll still stream for like the next month and a half too, maybe. But yeah, like later in the fall, I'll definitely be stopping streams. And full time dad. Is there a nursery room coming along? We're just starting to get gear. So no, not really. We still have a lot of boxes in there, my boxes, a lot of my keyword stuff in there. We still need to like set up furniture for if anybody's coming to help us. Like, I mean, in my case, like we're expecting like my in-laws to help us, especially like in the first month. So we need to like set up like a bed and like a dresser and that kind of stuff. So we're just starting to get that stuff. Yeah, it's still very much close to 0% right now, but we're just starting to get stuff in, getting things bought from like our registry, and yeah, like we bought like some things. We bought like a chair, we bought like a stroller, we bought like like some toys and like etc. The list is long, but it's a lot. But yeah, we're getting through it. This week I'll be busy, mostly just getting ready for guests coming in to town to visit family and whatnot, and yeah, I guess having some people over, just hosting and attending to guests and whatnot. So yeah. You just need a bassinet and a stroller. Don't need everything 100%. Yeah. I mean, for the initial setup, yeah. Unless you want to co-sleep. Yeah, no. I mean, we will have a bassinet actually. Someone that I met through keyboards, funnily enough, they just had a kid, and they know a friend who is helping us out by selling us their fancy bassinet for cheap. It was like the Snoop, and so like hooray, cheap secondhand, and also like in good condition and all that. So we're repurposing stuff. They're also like giving us like a bottle washer and all the fancy stuff. But yeah, we're kind of like piecing everything together. So yeah, it's gonna be a mix of new and secondhand, obviously. So but. We're doing all of that, yeah. Bottle washer is quality of life nice? Yes, I mean it's it's one of those things where like you don't want to think twice. It's like if you're constantly gonna be feeding, I mean, because you know for babies you have to feed them every 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. The time that you take to feed and tummy time and all that is not, it's factored into the 2 hours. So it's like if you feed and you take half an hour to feed, an hour and a half later you have to feed again. You know what I mean? This is from the start time of the feed. So it's like you're awake constantly, like that first like you know, that first month. And so yeah, it's gonna be that'll be a challenge once it comes. But my friends, I like a few friends who recently had kids. They're like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's manageable, it's doable. But yeah, quality of life things is like bottle washer and like things that you don't have to think twice about. Just put it in there, let it do its job, focus on having quality time with your kid, and yeah, like enjoying that moment. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're gearing up for. Slowly, very slowly. We just started. We just started. We just started getting stuff in. We're still doing research on certain things like car seat stuff and like, you know, like whatever. Yeah, and then later like we'll figure out like, you know, yeah, I guess the camera's overheating a little now. Yeah, I think the camera's overheating a little. Yeah, okay, there. That's back. Typical summer things, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's going. We're getting settled. Kiwi's still there. You can see his shadow. If you want to say bye to him, you can. He's just washing up, I guess. He's just bathing while waiting for food, I guess. We'll feed him soon. Oh, Kiwi. Alright, let's wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by to check out the QK100 Mk2. Very, very nice deal from Qwertykeys. For $200, you can find it on their website, Qwertykeys.com. And, but yeah, includes keycaps, switches, plate-mounted pre-lube stabilizers, and everything. Pretty much ready to go out of the box. Lots of nice, nifty features. Pretty convenient, frankly. And I recommend it. But I'll see you on again pretty soon. I have a few other things coming up, client builds among others. So I'll be seeing you guys once again over the next few weeks. Hopefully I won't be away for another month like this, but until the baby's here, and then I'll be truly away for a while. Okay, folks. Take care. Thank you so much. Let's see if do we have anyone to raid tonight or this afternoon? Ooh, Mr. J is live. This is a rare raid for me because EU friendly is like not common at all. Also, Rue, hello. Ruminative, hello. How are you? It's so good to see you. Yeah, he's up late. Yeah, he's up late. He's like close to midnight now, right? Have a nice weekend. Yeah, have a nice weekend too. Have a good start to your week, guys. Happy rest of the Sunday and happy start to your week. Don't get too much of them Sunday scaries. But yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying the summer. Alright, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you guys all later. Let's go raid Mr. J. Goodbye.